Today on the MWHS Wildcat News. HOSA, partnered with American Red Cross, held their annual blood drive last Friday. Many staff and students donated what amounted to over 100 usable units of blood. Guidance counselor Maureen Zolan recently created a new way for students to get help for classes they may be struggling in. On Monday mornings, there are now peer tutoring sessions over any Spanish or math-related content. 3D printers are a fairly new piece of technology. However, Computer Science Club has been working with them for a while now. They've created a variety of different projects, from small trinkets to parts to replace broken printers. A Millard West teacher has recently become viral on multiple social media sites. Assistant choir director Jordan Newhouse's unique rhythm lesson blew up on Instagram and TikTok after one of his students filmed and posted it. This and more on the MWHS Wildcat News. Welcome back, Wildcats, to the latest edition of the MWHS Wildcat News. I'm your host, Edison Geiler.
And I'm Caitlin Willard. We have a great batch of stories for you to watch this morning. First of which is HOSA's annual blood drive held on October 4th.
Its purpose was to donate enough blood for people in need, and it was all done through the American Red Cross. Staff and students alike donated a whopping 117 units of usable blood.
Jasmine Amocio and Natalie Eljamal bring you the news.
On Friday, October 4th, HOSA hosted their first blood drive of the year in an effort to collect blood donations for communities in need.
Right now, there's been a critical shortage because with so many places all over the country, including our area, there's just a massive shortage of blood supplies.
HOSA members help run the drive by handling registration and procedures for after donating.
Once people give blood, we escort them back to the canteen so they can get, so they don't fall over. We check people in and just make sure everybody's where they need to be.
Donors can donate by giving whole blood or power reds.
Really, we call them power reds. So it takes a little longer, and the needle is smaller. They give you saline back. Basically, there's whole blood, and then the power reds, they take out the platelets. It's just they use it a bit differently with different types of patients, and they only take certain types of blood type.
For many students, this was their first time donating, so being nervous was expected.
I felt nervous about donating at first, and then I got in here and we had some issues, and I did start crying, but we're okay now.
Though they did not reach their goal, they still received a lot of donations with all the other activities going on in the school.
Our goal was 135 units, and we got 117 that were viable units. So sometimes what happens is they don't get a full bag of blood and they can't use it. The problem that we had with this blood drive is that we had lots of things going on. We were a little short, but it was still a really good turnout considering how much we had going on. So students are always really great with supporting, as is the staff.
Many students are planning on donating again in the future.
I think I will in the future, just because I got my first time over with and I know that it's not that bad. And hopefully I don't have the difficulties like I did this time.
This has been Natalie Eljamal and Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla with the MWHS Wildcat News.
During Monday mornings, one-to-one student tutoring is held in the library. This allows for students to learn via their peers about any Spanish or math-related content.
Guidance counselor Maureen Zolan came up with the idea, seeing as teachers are not available to help students during Monday mornings. Katie and I went to the latest session and give you the scoop. Early on Monday, at the library, in room 100B, students can receive a little extra math and Spanish help. However, this academic aid comes not from faculty, but from their very own peers. Counselor Maureen Zolan created this opportunity, seeing as many teachers are unavailable Monday mornings.
Well, I think it's a great option for students, especially like we're doing the Monday morning. Our teachers are not available today because they're all at meetings for their professional learning communities. So we wanted to offer something so that students who were working on things over the weekend had an opportunity to ask questions if they were, having some difficulty with something.
Students struggling academically in certain areas can come in and become matched with an available student tutor. many of which have had previous tutoring experience.
I usually try to do a few exercises to figure out what type of learner they are and how they are better suited to learn the material.
Many of the students participating credit the student-to-student dynamic as the most essential benefit of the sessions. It creates a better learning opportunity for students having trouble in a traditional classroom environment.
I think the importance of peer tutoring is just like the one-on-one connection that you have with someone your age. How they explain like math and Spanish and how they explain it to you is a lot easier than like how your teachers, because your teachers put like a lot of pressure on you and they expect like a lot more because you're students, and so it's really cool that like peer tutoring is a thing.
All students have to do in order to become a tutor is simply speak to Zolan or counselor Sean Jurasek about helping out for these sessions.
So basically, if students are interested, we open it up to anybody who, believes they might be good enough at a subject to help somebody else. So they can come see me or Mr. Jurasek or another counselor and just let them know that they're interested. I take a look at their transcript, talk to them a little bit about what classes they're interested in tutoring in, and as long as they've done well in that class, I say, sure.
For anyone on the fence about joining, these student tutors know exactly what it's like to be struggling in a class.
At first I kind of talked and I was like, I really don't know what I'm doing, and they were like, oh my gosh, pre-calc was really hard, I understand completely what you're going through. And then they just said, so what are you struggling with? And I feel like teachers, yes, some teachers do that, but also they just don't understand what's going on through our heads, that we have other things that are on top of it. And so I feel like that students understand all of our problems, and they understand what's going on.
If a student is in need of assistance, they can come to room 100B on Monday mornings from 7:45 to 8:30. Caitlin Willard
and Edison Geiler signing off. Computer science teacher Ramsey Young, along with the Computer Science Club, have recently begun using 3D printers for a variety of different projects. These printers have recently been growing in popularity, being used more and more.
For this club, they make anything from small replicas of fictional characters to creating new printer parts in place of damaged ones. Jordan McCarr and Connor Robb see what makes these printers so special.
Technology has been a leading key in today's society. It's changing everything we do and allows us to create new things in short amount of time and in fascinating ways. 3D printers over the course of the last decade have gained huge popularity, and in Millard West we are fortunate enough to have obtained a few.
Okay, so there's extruders. It heats up the resin to melt it a little bit, and then when it goes onto the platform it solidifies and then it builds itself up.
The students also use a wide variety of different filaments, which is inserted into the printers. Filaments in 3D printers are just the thermoplastic feedstock that the printer uses to print the final product. It's essentially like the ink in common paper printers.
So the 3D printers we currently have, we have two U-prints. We have an Affinia, an Ultimaker, a MakerGear M2, a Flashwords Dreamer, and a Form 2. That's our SLA 3D printer that we got this year.
3D printers at Millard West have been accumulated over the past decade, either donated or purchased by the district. A few of the 3D printers can print in high definition, really showing off complex details.
3D printing, as it gets cheaper and just a little bit more efficient, I think that the opportunities in the future are pretty much limitless. There's a lot that you can do on them now, and they're still relatively young in the early stages of them, but 10-15 years from now people will utilize them for medical world, printing prosthetics and things like that, as well as just kind of having the ability to print something that you need on hand at home.
We currently have 7 different 3D printers at Millard West, which all perform various tasks. In the classroom, the 3D printers have allowed students to experience the complex process of writing scripts on the printers and calibrating them.
Having 3D printers in class is extremely useful. We can use them inside of our classroom curriculum, and me personally, I'm in a club outside of school, computer science club, as well as an IT innovation team that works down at UNO. And in the past we've used our 3D printers for different projects that we've worked on, and some of the materials we've had to use before in class.
The Millard West Computer Science Club have organized numerous fundraisers that help raise funds for the 3D printers, supplies, and its needed repairs. The fundraisers have given supporters an opportunity to contribute to the longevity of the computer science field.
We've been pretty successful. We've printed our teacher, Mr. Young, on Thanos, Spider-Man. I've been on Iron Man, and a lot more kids have also bought stuff from us, and we've printed stuff on Crest, so yeah, it works out.
In the outside world, 3D printers have given us opportunities to do pretty spectacular stunts, such as printing prosthetic limbs, creating instruments, and various parts of automobiles and structures.
There's a lot of potential in 3D printing, and it's definitely go from being the toys and fun side of thing to being a real part of future society.
This has been Connor Robb and Jordan McCarr with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Assistant Choir Director Jordan Newhouse recently became viral on the app TikTok.
While teaching his class about rhythm patterns, senior Regan Stocker filmed him saying a variety of terms usually only spoken by Visco girls. Alexis Behensky talked to Newhouse about his recent fame.
The Millard West Choir Department recently had their assistant choir director, Jordan Newhouse, blow up on multiple social media platforms. The video hit 500,000 views within the first 3 hours and over 1 million the next day.
Oh, I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, I wasn't mad at all. I think it's really funny, but it just goes to show you how you can not do something intentionally and it just blows up. I mean, we really have no control over how crazy things can go in life. I did not wake up that morning thinking that, oh, 1 million people are going to look at me today.
The video was connected to the new Visco trend. Visco started off as an editation app, but eventually evolved into the term Visco Girl, which describes a girl who follows the new Visco trends, including scrunchies, hydro flasks, Crocs, shell necklaces, and much more. The video was posted to Twitter showing singers going over a new warm-up.
Save the turtles, hydro flask, hydro flask, hydro flask, hydro flask, oop and a oop and a oop and a oop and a. Save the turtles, save the turtles, save the turtles, save the turtles. Scrunchy, 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 oop and a oop and a oop. Oop and a oop and a oop and a scrunchy, oop and a oop and a oop and a hydro flask. Save the turtles, save the turtles, save the turtles.
Students were surprised by the video's popularity.
I thought it was so crazy and just fun that I posted it to Twitter, and then I had no idea it was going to go viral. And then the next day after posting it, I got a DM from a ton of Instagram accounts asking to post it, and I was just like, okay.
My first reaction to Mr. Newhouse becoming famous was honestly pure shock. Just to see him on my favorite meme page and like all these other good meme pages was interesting to say the least. Like all those like famous people, and it's kind of funny because we make fun of him a lot for being Mr. Famous in choir and stuff.
This also led to unexpected reconnections for Mr. Newhouse.
Well, I've had people who I haven't talked to in years text me and tell me how silly and impressed and how this is completely like me from like college or from even high school.
This has been Alexis Behensky for the MWHS Wildcat News.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the MWHS Wildcat News.
Make sure to follow us on our social media, and for more stories, check out MillardWestCatalyst.com.
Don't forget to bring money for the United Way campaign, Minute to Win It.
And also don't forget to pick up your tickets for Amelie, our fall musical. There's a show tonight at 7 p.m. and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. On Sunday, there's a show at 2 p.m. Make sure you get your tickets, you won't want to miss it.
And be on the lookout for the first edition of the Millard West Catalyst newspaper.
It's bigger and better than ever, so make sure you pick up your copy.
See you later, Wildcats!